Anyway, Kevin, the guy's profile's name on Field is BeerFeet19.
Well, the first 18 were
they were taken. He's
okay,
the 19th BeerFeet. He is a 38-year-old straight man.
Okay.
Single, if you can believe it.
I can't.
His profile picture
are his feet dipped in beer? I have
no,
to imagine.
No, it's two bare feet cuddling a long route peanut butter porter.
Okay.
He got some Budweiser in those Tozy Wozies.
But it's because suds are beyond BeerFeet19. He has to have like a
fine imported beer.
He has to have the exotically flavored. He needs a peanut butter. He needs a Fruit Loop IPA.
Yeah, of course.
He needs a fucking peaches and cream sour. It's only the high-end stuff is there for BeerFeet19. Now, his profile reads, "Follow me on my adventures with feet and beer.
Okay.
Message me here or featured presentation 19.
Yes.
On feetfinder.com.
Feetfinder.com. Okay.
What is that website for?
Now,
what do you use it for?
Now, FeetFinder.
Now, is FeetFinder the Wiki Feet dating site?
Now, doesn't he know? Doesn't he know? You just gotta look down. No, you don't have to go to the internet.
You don't got
all you kids on your phones. Your feet. You just gotta look down.
FeetFinder is, and I quote, "the easiest way for verified foot fetish users to buy feet pics and sell feet pictures and videos in a safe and secure environment." So it is OnlyFans. It's only feet. It's only feet.
It's only feet.
You can't get anything else.
What if you're trying to break into the boobs market on only feet, and you're just not getting, you're nothing.
right. So
and you're just pulling your hair out these are boobs. Why isn't anyone?
I'm tired of seeing all this pussy on OnlyFans. Where is the feet?
Where's the feet?
Where's the feet? And they've got the old lady from the Wendy. Where's the feet?
Where's the feet? Where's the feet?
Other dating sites only show you boobs and butts.
So these categories include high heels, soles, socks, lotion, dirty feet, male for the gays.
Good.
And women who want male feet.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. Mm-hmm.
And honestly, this might there's tattoo and there's dancer and dancer is honestly the one giving me pause.
Dancer, those are going to be some heinous feet.
Those are some well-worn and crippled toesy woesies. Those pigs have been to market and they come back with shell shock.
I don't know if you've checked out the pigs in blankets of a veteran ballerina, but those fuckers are char grill.
It's legalized foot binding. That's what it is.
Yes.
So if you're going on Feet Finder for the ladies who can know how to go on ballerinas, I'm kind of concerned for these people.
Yeah. I'm worried about you. Yeah, I think because I know there's always degrees when you're pursuing an avenue of sexuality, right?
Yeah.
Or in anything in this life. You start out with the very basic stuff, and gradually you need the harder stuff. Eventually,
no one immediately jumps into an ice cream cake. They start with an ice cream sandwich, work their way up to ice cream cones, sundaes. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. It's the first movie you watch is not a Buñuel film, right? It's not, you're always starting out with
no.
Pixar's and shit, but eventually the Pixar's don't hit the way they used to. I guess I had never considered the grim reality where good normal feet just don't do it for you anymore, and you gotta get them nasty feet.
Hey, Kevin, so rich of you to assume that contemporary teens are hunting for Unchen Andalou and
That's what I'm saying.
60s new wave surrealist shit.
You build up to.
Yes, you do.
Louis Buñuel is what I was saying. It's like you don't. Yeah, my ma and pa weren't putting on the discreet charm of the bourgeoisie.
Exterminating angels.
Yeah, exactly. You don't start there, but eventually you're like, damn, I'm sick of normal ass feet movies. I need the fucked up veteran ballerina feet. I need to look at Barishnikov's fucking feet, and I need it now.
Veteran ballerina feet.
Yeah.
I need some feet that have been on point and they have been wrecked by the experience. I need some feet that look like fucking Lil Smokies.
Yeah.
Yucky.
I need feet that have looked like they've been in a pencil sharpener. That have just been honed to a fine cone point.
I want to stress to the audience, this is not me kink shaming. I let your freak flag fly.
I am.
Whatever. What I'm saying,
Justin, the only brave soldier, brave enough to kink shame.
What I am saying is, there was a time in my life where I'd try to watch every movie that was nominated for Best Picture, and in 2009. I watched 127 Hours, a movie where a man cuts his arm off with like a dull pocket knife, and I was fine. I got 20 minutes into Black Swan, and I had I was dry heaving. Foot damage is something that really bothers me as a human being, and so it's just right now you're getting some instead of getting chocolate in my peanut butter, you're getting trash juice in my peanut butter.
You're getting gasoline in my coffee.
That's the only pick me up. Again, I started with regular coffee and it doesn't do it for me anymore. I need some diesel in those grounds.
Yeah. I've had coffee flavored coffee and it's no longer enough.
I need unleaded coffee.
I need 10% ethanol coffee.
Yucky. And that is me kink shaming. That is me.
I get what you mean, Vern. Because, I don't know what I think feet, they're incredibly sensitive parts of the body, but they exist in the background.
Yeah,
You're applying pressure to your feet all day, but if you stub your toe, you're done. You're done for an hour.
We have to stop talking about this. I will puke. This is how sensitive my little tummy is to this.
That's fair. I'm ceasing here. However, you can your fingers are more sensitive, but if you smash your thumb, it hurts, but you get over it.
Yeah.
But I've had to walk on stubbed toes before, and I felt like I was coming home from the Somme. I felt the need to pen a letter to my sweetheart because I fear I might not make it home for Christmas.
Yeah, I busted my foot last summer. I'm fairly certain it was when I was moving the couch that I bought into this apartment, helping out the tiny man the department store sent over to do the job. And I'm like, my king's not getting this done on his own. He's the size of a couch cushion.
Shelf?
Yeah, basically they sent
they sent the elf on the shelf.
They sent the damn great Gazoo, but he's got a weight belt on. He's not using his little magics.
Oh, what's he lifting? Grains of rice?
They sent damn ass Dobby the house elf to move my couch in with his little fucking spindly ass arms.
He came in and you're like, oh, I love Keebler cookies. And they're like, no, I'm here with your couch.
No, I'm your mover.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, buddy, there is one picture in my mind for what I hope a mover looks like when they show up to my house, and you ain't it. But I busted my foot.
The only good kind of mover is a guy who looks like he has burgers for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yes. It's the difference between show muscles and strength.
Yes, contractor strength.
if someone who's going to lift anything, who's going to work any kind of construction, I want big. I want a guy whose first name is Big, like we were talking about earlier. Yeah. I don't
Tony,
want
Big Michael.
I don't want Wardlow or Powerhouse Hobbs to help me move my couch. I want the thickest motherfucker that you've got. Because I know that size equals strength proportionally.
You need guys with core strength like it's a tombstone strapped to their body.
I need a guy that orders more than one chili dog at a time.
This is a phrase that Kevin himself introduced to me. But you want someone who is built like a brick shithouse.
Yes.
Brick shithouse. Yes.
Built like a guy who shit bricks.
Yes. I built the shit house with all the bricks that they were shitting out. I want just like a thick motherfucker. Because if you watch like strongest man in the world competitions, they don't look like bodybuilders.
No.
They look like bears. they look like you shaved a bear. They look like Homer Simpson, like that's who is at the strongest man in the world competition. Yeah.
They look like I remember reading about this. What was this? Like there was at one point the greatest wrestler in the world. He was like in the 1930s, and he was this like Indian man, who toured Europe to find wrestlers to like beat him, and he couldn't do it for like a decade. So he moved back to India just to live there. And his daily diet, the things he ate every day, was 6 whole roast chickens, 20 bowls of rice, and a gallon of yogurt every day.
A gallon of yogurt.
And you think about that, and you're like, that's a lot of yogurt. I want, if someone's going to show up to help me move my couch, someone's going to show up, when I hire Piece of Cake Moving, I want them to look like, the legendary stories you get told as a child where, someone drinks a lake,
Right. Paul Bunyan physiology.
What is that, what's that Italian movie? Cabirina? Cabrini? What is Cabiria? Cabiria, where there was that guy. What is that guy's name? The guy.
The Cabiria guy.
The Cabiria guy. It has all the soldiers, and they're using their shields to make platforms, and he keeps climbing up higher and higher, and he jumps over the wall, and it's really cool. Remember?
This 1914 Italian film? You don't? You don't remember?
Oh!
Well, I guess I can go ahead.
Movie where there's Moloch, there's the big monster engine underground or something. Or am I thinking of a different Italian?
The only part I can remember is all the soldiers. They have these big full body shields, and these soldiers, they run up to this big tall wall, and they all pick a shield and they hold it up above their heads, and then a bunch of soldiers get on that and they hold their shield up like that. And this keeps happening like a big ladder, and this big muscle man gets up there. The good news is it's my turn to pick, and my next movie is going to be Giovanni Pastrone. No, that's not true.
But that'd be a sick pull. Because as we've described before, we hate having listeners, and I think that would be the last straw for a lot of people.
I did just text you guys the name, the picture of that wrestler. His name was the Great Gama.
Oh, I love this guy. I want to draw the Great Dama. Anyway, I can't think of this guy's name. I can't remember the name of this guy. And people loved him, and he was a big star of Italian movies just because people were out. Because, who doesn't love a big hunk,
Come on, that's one of the best type of guys to be, or to meet, or to see.
Who doesn't love a big hunk?
Not me. I love a big hunk.
I love a big hunk.
You keep talking to me like I don't, and I do.
Oh, Vern, the movie you're thinking of is Cabiria.
Cabiria,
yeah. That's what we were talking about.
But I can't remember the name of the guy in it.
Oh, the guy in it?
I don't know. the cast and crew. Yeah, let me check the.
And my dumbass was hoping that like I would go on Wikipedia and it'd be like a Salvatore as that big strong guy you're thinking of.
Was it Bartolomeo Pagano?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, buddy, I don't know. Like the Letterboxd doesn't even have pictures of these actors. I don't know how to help you.
Did you guys know that Cabiria was the first movie shown at the White House?
Wow.
Did like Calvin Coolidge like freak out seeing like people seeing Hannibal crossing the Alps?
Oh, this sick!
Crazy.
This poster is sick. On Wikipedia, there's a poster for Cabiria. Oh, it's so rad, and it's the scene I'm talking about. You guys, don't you love an audio medium where you can see me reacting to this piece of work in real time? It's just
us passing pictures to each other.
The poster is sick. The poster is sick. The poster is sick.
It's a good picture. It's a really good poster.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of flames holding up a lady like they have hands.
What were they doing? What they're doing?
The pyramid poster. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening at home, if you want to follow along, pull up the Wikipedia article for Cabiria.
Oh, it's
why is Gabriele
scroll down to 5th episode
attached to this? Did he write this? Because Gabriele D'Annunzio was the guy who started the Futurists, who were part of founding the Italian fascist movement.
Fulvius. His name is Fulvius.
His
name is Fulvius. The character's name is Fulvius.
I'm so glad we could put this to bed. I'm so glad we solved this mystery.
And, of course, everyone knows that Fulvius was portrayed by an Italian man.
Skunko Palazzo.
Enrico Palazzo by Donna Palazzo. Everyone knows. It was portrayed by Umberto Mazzato. Everyone knows this.
Umberto Mazzato. Of course.
What a big... That's a fucking big guy.
Leave a comment, listeners at home. Tell me that if you saw that poster that I marked out too, tell me you wouldn't want to go see that movie immediately.
Oh, they're going to stack all those guys? They're going to stack those guys?
A big guy stack. It's a big guy stack.
You don't see that in movies every day. You really don't.
When was the last time you went to a movie and saw... And I'm not talking about the CG wall of zombies in World War Z starring Brad Pitt.
No way, no way.
More like World War ZZZZ because I fell asleep during that movie. I'm talking about a real life stack of guys. A real life stack of guys.
And not cheerleaders at your local regional football game.
No.
I mean fucking centurions with shields.
And I'm not talking about a dang barrel of Monkees. You pull them out, you link them, and you drop. No.
A stack of guys. When was it? Come on.
This is the problem with contemporary masculinity, is that no guys are stacking anymore.
I've been saying this.
Boys aren't anymore going hop, 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 and forming big geometric shapes as acrobatic feats. They no longer refer to themselves as the Botticelli brothers.
You don't go to the gym anymore, and you don't ever see a guy with this two big rolling pins that he's just swinging in circles around his arms.
They're called Indian clubs.
They're called what?
Indian clubs.
They're called Indian clubs.
Yeah, they were actually picked up by they were learned from the Sikhs of the mountains of India.
We're learning.
Okay, we're
so
safe.
much.
We're safe, everyone.
We're learning.
We're learning what the big guys call.
I wanted to go to the one Indian club gym in St. Louis, and it closed due to quarantine.
No.
Because not enough people were invested.
Because the woke left shut down.
Left. And of course, Of course, all the Monkees fans tune in to hear us talk about Fulvius and Cabiria.
All Monkees fans are actually very invested in early silent Italian cinema.
I remember whenever I was in history of film at Webster watching Cabiria and watching Fulvius do the human pyramid, and I was thinking, man, I wonder what Michael Nesmith is up to right now. I remember this very vividly.
I remember Davy Jones. They really had Cabiria on like the lookbook on the mood board when they were making
Bob Rafelson. Yeah, Jack Nicholson and Bob. They all were sitting around that campfire, smoking weed, talking into a tape recorder about what Head would be. And Fulvius got brought into the conversation.
No, Fulvius, because like you can't talk about movies. You can't plan feature films without talking about Fulvius. At some point, he's gonna come up.
He just comes up. He's one of the stock characters of cinema.
Yeah, there are several archetypes in the history of cinema.
There's the
Fulvius.
White hat. There's the white hat, the black hat, and then there's Fulvius.
There's Fulvius, who is wearing a sort of grayscale hat.
Yeah. Well, a gray Centurion helmet.
I like that Vern addressed the Monkees fans as if there is a single Monkees fan who's young enough to know how to listen to podcasts.
Hi, Forrest.
As if there is anyone who is into the Monkees who also, like, understands how to get podcasts on their phone.
Kevin, stop addressing my primary criticism of the movie we're talking about.
Justin was watching this, and he's like, no one who likes this knows what a podcast is.
No one who likes this knows what a podcast. Davy Jones has never listened to a podcast in his fucking life.
Davy Jones thinks
Davy
about
Jones
a
was around
podcast
long
and
enough
wonders
to-
what record he needs to order.
Fucking Mickey Dolenz, who lives to this day,
He's
has
the last
never
one.
once listened to a podcast.
He's the last one. As Scott Aukerman once famously said, these monkeys are dropping like flies. It's a real thing that man said.
Hey, Mickey Dolenz, he's still out here making shit. He did an REM covers album last year. It was pretty fun. He did
Davy
an
Jones.
REM covers EP.
I saw Davy Jones perform.
I will say, to Mickey Dolenz's advantage, he does look the most simian of the four.
Yeah, the most that's where they got the name. They looked at that guy and they're like,
they
can't call this
they looked at these three normal guys, then Mickey Dolenz walks up like, oh, well, we gotta call these guys the Monkees. This guy grins like a chimpanzee.
What do you want to do for band practice today, Mickey? And he's like, ook, ook.
Tire swinging.
Oh, shit. Well, yes.
I want to break
back.
Kate from trees, arm over arm.
Welcome back to another episode of Movies for Babies, where we will be talking about the 1968 Monkees theatrical film Head. Directed by Bob Rafelson, co-written by Rafelson and Jack Nicholson. That one. And for any of our listeners, again, who are under the age of 75, the Monkees were a 60s pop rock outfit that was so nakedly, commercially, an attempt to cash in on Beatlemania, like an executive of American television, like, saw A Hard Day's Night and said, "Get me one of those. Get me whatever this is."
What if an industry plant came with its own TV show?
Exactly. It's a whole band, and they have a funny, cute little sitcom that's like fine for kids, but adults don't mind it, and they write. To the credit of the Monkees, they were good musicians. They wrote good, interesting songs in the very narrow purview of like, we are supposed to be early Beatles at all times. Like we are the early Beatles if they never stop being the early Beatles.
I don't know a whole lot about the Monkees beyond just like surface level stuff. I've seen episodes of the show. I've heard the music. From watching this movie and doing the making the rounds on Wikipedia and all that sort of good stuff, I've learned more about the guys. Apparently, someone saw A Hard Day's Night and they said, yes, that, print money, please. Apparently, they originally approached the Lovin' Spoonful about being the band that became the Monkees, and the Lovin' Spoonful was not interested.
We gotta sing a song about a hot town somewhere in the city. We can't do that.
Due to some contract for some sort of thing that did not end up panning out, they had a contract where they had Davy Jones. They had Davy Jones for something. He was on contract for something, and they decided to pull a Spice Girls and put out an audition. Anyone who wants to be in a band for a TV show, come on down. And that's how they got Michael Nesmith. That's how they got Peter Tork, and that's how they got Mickey Dolenz, former
Mickey Dolenz
child
have, like,
star.
Broadway experience.
The contract thing that they somehow already had Davy Jones for was Broadway experience. They saw him in Oliver, apparently.
That's it.
But Mickey Dolenz had previously been a child star. He had been on some shows on TV and some older, like, short films.
Well, yeah, like Bedtime for Bonzo.
Yes, Davy Jones. All the Monkees were musicians, but none of the Monkees were musicians for, like, whatever they played in the band. Davy Jones was a drummer. But the producers were like, he's too short. No one will see him behind the drum set. He's the lead singer. Like,
can't
literally.
see over those things.
God forbid they put a phone book under his butt.
Exactly. Like,
They
Peter
just
Tork.
hike up the chair.
Davy
Peter
Jones
Tork,
lives in a house that's been scaled down, and we have to, like, bend over.
Sorry. Davy Jones had to ride a ladybug to get here.
It's very early.
Davy Jones uses a Kleenex as a bed sheet. He can't drum.
It's very early. It's an early form of Spider-Man emails guy brain of just like, we can't have Davy Jones as the drummer, a thing he's good at playing because no one can see him. We can't have Peter Tork play guitar because even though Peter Tork can play guitar, we have to have him as the bassist for whatever reason.
He's too tall.
Just like,
he's too tall to play guitar.
It's stupid things like that. It's the Monkees were, and they address this in the film, either I think kind of like overtly and like make it obvious, but apparently this was way over some critics' heads. But like they discuss like in the movie the quote unquote like fakeness of the band, the band being a product that was assembled despite being like something that came together naturally. But the problem, I guess, the problem was all the Monkees did play music and enjoyed being artists and enjoyed being in a band, but like they were constantly being like forced into doing things they did not want to do, forced into like doing things to fit the product. And I heard this story whenever I was reading about this, about like the Monkees playing a show and fans coming up to them with copies of the new Monkees record for their autographs, and the Monkees finding out for the first time that this record had been released. They didn't know this record was coming out. Mm-hmm. The photo on the album cover was taken from a JCPenney photo shoot they had done to model clothes for JCPenney. There's a lot of, it's a thing where there was 4 talented artists. I think Michael Nesmith, and I'll talk more about this later, I think Michael Nesmith is maybe a genius. I think he's a very intelligent, thoughtful, like talented artist. But because of Spider-Man emails guy, they were forced to like fit into a machine differently than they would fit naturally. And as a result of trying to get their voices heard and break out of that machine, they made a little movie called Head. Tonight on the Doughboys.
Begs to ask, what happens if 4 guys hated their job?
Yes.
Right. It's 4 undeniably very talented artists who are very good at what they do, who are trying to muddle through some version of their own artistic vision in one of the most corporate music outfits that has ever been created, and that is saying something. That's they're essentially like, this is the way they build like K-pop groups. It's like, we're gonna bring in random people and we're gonna tell them what to do, whether or not it's what they're naturally good at or not.
I mean, in all fairness, the K-pop industry is way more dehumanizing now than like American pop groups used to be.
And that's fair enough, but this movie is very much, it feels, I know none of them wrote it or directed it or anything like that, but this feels like 4 artists who are just trying to make any sense out of being a squeaky clean corporate pop rock outfit, like, in the middle of the Vietnam War, and the movie is co-written and directed by Bob Rafelson, who worked to co-create the Monkees as an outfit, as a union.
That's what I think is the most fascinating part of this movie, is, like, imagine, like, because it's the 4 leads of a very popular sitcom going to the showrunner and producer saying, hey, we hate this. Will you make a movie about how much we hate doing this?
Yes, and like Bob Rafelson, if our listeners have ever seen any other Bob Rafelson films, they are bizarre and they are dark and they are nasty. Like 5 Easy Pieces is not, in my opinion, a very easy watch. King of Marvin Gardens, etc.
Postman rings twice.
Oh boy, yeah. Let me tell you, I don't ring once if you're looking for a happy time at the movies. And it's because I don't know. I'm sure listeners of this show, fans of the 3 of us, like, are probably at least passingly familiar with the Beatles. Have maybe seen A Hard Day's Night, and A Hard Day's Night, a wonderful film in its own right, but is very,
if you know and like about the Beatles.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's the 4 lovable lads from Liverpool. They're very handsome. They're hanging out. They're hitting on ladies.
Cheeky,
they're making fun of old men. Yeah, they're being cheeky. They're running away from girls like Austin Powers, which is where Austin Powers got the idea. Like, this all makes sense. This is a pitch that we understand. And so, like, okay, and when an even more squeaky clean corporate outfit than the Beatles, a band whose job was to be even squeakier clean than the Beatles, makes a movie, and they make a bizarre avant-garde nonsense movie that, like, directly conflates their screaming fans with the bombing of Cambodia, and like features, when I'm a Monkees fan in 1968 and I go to see my favorite band's new movie, I know sitting down that, like, I'm gonna see Peter Tork agonize over slapping a woman in the face. Like, I know for sure that's what I'm getting. I without a shadow of a doubt.
This is like if the cast of SpongeBob requests they do the Squidward kills himself episode for real.
Movie trivia. Apparently, according to Wikipedia and according to IMDb, according to those things, Bob Rafelson or Bob Rafelson?
I believe it's Rafelson. But
Bob Rafelson, Jack Nicholson, and all 4 Monkees went on a trip together and smoked a whole lot of grass and had a big conversation about what the movie was going to be into a tape recorder. And then Rafelson and Nicholson took that recording and put together a script based on it. Okay. Further movie trivia alleges that this might have been whenever they took that tape recording and put it into a script form, Nicholson was on acid, which I wouldn't doubt.
Yeah.
But apparently, the Monkees learned right before production was going to start that they were not going to be credited as screenwriters or like director or anything like that. They learned they were only going to be credited as just like starring the Monkees as talent. And 3 out of 4 Monkees did not show up on set that first day. Who
was the Ringo? Who was the Ringo? The one guy.
The Ringo was
one little monkey was jumping on the bed, and then
one
he
little
fell
monkey
off
was
and
jumping on
bumped
the
his
set.
head.
The Ringo was Peter Tork.
Of course it was.
My favorite
apparently,
monkey.
Peter Tork. Okay, that's good to know. But apparently that made production on Head just like very difficult because Rafelson and Nicholson were just like very mad at the Monkees about this. According to what I was reading, like Rafelson and Nicholson would play like music by other bands on set between takes and say the Monkees like, this is real rock and roll music. Just like
they were playing Wrestler Cheap Heat to
I don't know.
What a harmonious working environment. What a great
I don't
place to make
understand.
art.
I feel bad for Peter Tork just sitting there and like
like
next to I'm assuming
I thought the other guys would be
3
here.
empty seats.
I did talk with I reached out to there's a person on Instagram who I'm a big fan of, a tremendous Monkees fan named at Auntie Griselda, and named after a monkey song. And Peter Tork apparently thought that like Head was Rafelson's way of just like dissolving the Monkees and like ruining them. And he was tired of working with the Monkees and wanted to move on and do other things. And apparently like he took his money from this to finance Easy Rider. And so that's where I'm getting a lot of this is from at Auntie Griselda. So if you like the Monkees and you're on Instagram, you should follow Auntie Griselda. But all this to say, like, I'm not a person who normally agrees with this kind of sentiment. Bruce Campbell once said, hard to make, easy to watch when it comes to movies. And I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment. But I will say, this movie rules. This is a very good movie.
So good.
This is the perfect party movie in that you can put it on and you can have whole conversations while kind of paying attention, and you don't actually lose anything.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. You'd be like, why did Peter Tork slap that waitress? And you'd be like, your guess is as good as mine.
This movie has themes. It has
Sure does.
no story. Like, there's no narrative. There's no characters. There's, like, a concept that it runs into the ground and well below its Earth's crust, to the point that the point is well and truly fossilized by the end of the movie.
Yeah, there's no laundry line that we're hanging bits on, in this movie. There's no through line taking us through the adventure here. Mm-hmm. It is nonsense that will change at the drop of a hat. You are never sure what is a hallucination or a bizarre piece of reality. Like it's completely unconcerned with those kinds of elements, which again is like probably not what most people in 1968 expect when they sit down and they see the funny guys from TV in a movie together, where like the first thing that happens in this movie is Mickey Dolenz throws himself off a bridge to his death, and then like a psychedelic like color feast plays while they play Porpoise Song, which is sort of the theme of the movie if the movie has a
and then a mermaid
theme.
Shows up.
Of course, why wouldn't they?
That stuff
I don't know,
with
Kevin. Why not?
That stuff with the psychedelic effects during the Porpoise Song segment, apparently, now in Adobe Premiere, you click Solarize and that's it. But on film, that's a way more difficult thing to do, and apparently that caused the movie to the release of the movie to be delayed.
Jesus.
And apparently, and I've not seen it, but apparently there's like some sort of like trailer, some sort of TV advertisement, something for the Monkees movie Head that does not feature the Monkees at all. And apparently it was very off-putting. And apparently, like, it's the thing that people say like killed the movie, that and the weird solarization of Mickey swimming underwater set to Porpoise song. But what a way to open the movie, and what a way to like immediately get an audience's attention.
To announce yourself, to announce your intentions, like, hey audience, here's what you're
and then they
so
make
admire.
the point. Then they make the point of the movie immediately after. They give the entire thesis of the movie of like, we're the Monkees. We think we're pandering to you. We think we are commodified. We don't like it. And then the rest of the movie happens.
Yes, we think we're commodified, and we're going to intercut footage of our screaming fans with horrible footage of the Vietnam War.
We are compared to dandruff, a complete, like, literally discarded skin that is nothing more than a mild nuisance.
Yes, this is people, like, struggling with, like, I am bland, corporate, upbeat art in the middle of, like, a world, a society, a change in history that I simply cannot hope to comprehend, the grief of which is too much to bear. So we're throwing it all away. We're tossing it all in the trash. It feels very different movie, but it does feel like Southland Tales, which I just watched recently. It's just a very similar, like, your mind has been melted by the state of the world, and the only thing that makes sense is, like, a nonsense Dadaist expression of your feelings.
What if you asked the Mouseketeers to do, like, something about, like, school shootings? Like, that's the, like, equivalent of, like, young artists who are very aware of how fucking crazy things are right now and feel unable to say anything about it.
Yes. And I guess, like, studio executives, this was New Hollywood. It was 1968, right? And, like, so the old ways were dead. Dr. Dolittle, Hello, Dolly. These movies are falling apart. These movies are flopping. And, like, Bonnie and Clyde and The Graduate are, like, box office sensations literally 1 year prior to this. So, like, I think a studio executive is just like, fuck it, I don't know what works anymore. I don't know. Maybe everyone wants Head, and so they just let Head happen. They just let Head out into the world. Movie where Mickey Dolenz blows up a Coca-Cola machine with an Italian military tank. Why does he do it? I can't fucking tell you. I have no idea.
Where a cow turns to the camera and says, "Monkeys are the craziest people."
A cow with the animated mouth. A cow owned by Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa's in this fucking movie.
Frank Zappa's in this fucking movie.
That's a red flag in and of itself.
You gotta get him out of there. You gotta get Frank out of the movie.
So there were two things I was thinking about a whole lot during this movie, and I'll get to the second thing at some point. But the first thing I was thinking about is my friends the Melons. My friends the Melons, who when you see them live, do a whip-ass cover of "I'm Not Your Stepping Stone," originally by the Monkees. But I was thinking about my friends the Melons, like they frequently will ask me to take pictures of them, and I'm usually happy to do that. And I won't say any names, but 3 melons are super in to photo shoots and music videos and things of that nature, and 1 melon is totally not into that.
I have a guess.
1 melon equates the experience to going to the airport, like spending all day at the airport. And so whenever I'm working with my friends, the melons, I always try to be like extra nice and extra kind to the melon who refers to this experience as going to the airport, because like if I'm taking photos of them, I'm kind of like the travel planner. And so I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you're TSA. You know,
I'm TSA.
And who doesn't love a nice TSA agent? The one you've ever met.
Yeah.
The melon that doesn't like photos or doesn't like doing photo shoots, I think it really just comes from this like, I'm in a band. Why aren't we playing music right now?
Yep.
Totally.
And I think that this movie like is really strongly coming from this, because like all four of these Monkees are talented musicians. I think this movie is really coming from a place of just like, why can't we walk hard like we used to? Why can't we go into the studio and just lay down some tracks the way we want to? And you know, there's the spoiler alert for the movie Head. Like the end of this movie is. This happens at the end of the movie, but it happens several times in the movie where, like, the Monkees are trapped in a big box.
Yeah.
Where they're trapped in...
And whether it's a vacuum cleaner or
like a big fish tank or an aquarium. Yeah.
They literally go to a box factory.
And they go to a box factory. There are several times where they're literally a part of a machine. But I think...
Is there anything there?
I really, and I think it's just very interesting. Like this movie is a exploration of just like how it feels to be boxed in artistically.
They're literally in a boxing match.
There's literally in a boxing match. And we're like, where Davy Jones is losing. There's a thing where like,
worse, he has to take a fall.
He has to
He's
take
not
a
even
fall.
allowed
Yes.
to lose or fight on his own terms.
Exactly. And because there's money on the line.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Very interesting.
Oh,
and I just
makes you think.
And there's you mentioned Davy Jones in the boxing match, and there's like one part where like Michael Nesmith is in a haunted house.
That's right.
What
a picture. What a
They do an interesting thing where like during the movie where like each Monkee is in the spotlight, and it's highlighting like how they are dealing with being boxed in artistically and how that feels to them. And like
Davy Jones gets into dance instead of music. Peter gets into like mysticism.
And that like
is like, oh, what's his name? Michael Nesmith. Is he getting into like drugs or something? Where he has like the happy birthday scene.
He goes to a haunted house that ends up being like
a surprise party,
an exhausting surprise party. It's just one of those like things that I think the Monkees, I'm sure, had to do a lot, where they had to like, it's kind of like their answer to that press scene in A Hard Day's Night, where like the Beatles are trying to eat the food, but they keep getting cut off by reporters asking them questions.
Yeah.
It just feels like another like exhausting thing that the studio mandated. And like Michael Nesmith snaps because like it's allegedly his birthday party, and it's just another like schmoozing thing.
Yeah.
You know,
it's another event.
Another event, and I just think
there's.
Yeah, I just think there's it's subtle, or maybe not subtle.
It's not subtle at all.
There's some interesting stuff about like artists in this movie, like feeling boxed in, very aware of their reputation, very aware of how they come across to fans of them, but also to like their musician peers. And it's an interesting commentary about that, and it's also just interesting how they like it's all juxtaposed against the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War has a very like heavy presence on this movie. You see the same footage of someone being executed 3 times, which I argue maybe 3 times too many in an allegedly G-rated film.
In a Monkees movie.
In a Monkees
The
movie.
Monkees.
But I also think that like something the Monkees something like the grief these 4 artists caught for being like a manufactured lie, when like in real life there's a actual manufactured lie happening.
Yeah.
That are like that's ending lives. It's like
That's kind of,
there's a lot of just interesting stuff there.
so that's kind of my primary criticism of this movie. Is that, this movie is incredibly surreal. It has tons of great surrealist imagery in it. Just like there's tons of great craft and stage work, and like the Monkees are giving pretty fun performances, but the entire movie hinges on you being concerned of the artistic integrity of the Monkees, which I'm sorry, history has not been.
I think, personally,
This is your pick, of course.
This is my pick. And I will just be straight up with both of you and our wonderful listening audience. I actually don't really care about the Monkees at all. They've produced plenty of great songs. I have respect for them, but the Monkees are not in any way close to my heart. I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of the show because we didn't have cable growing up. I didn't pick this because I love the Monkees. I have respect and sympathy for 4 very talented people who feel like they're getting eaten up by the machine.
Yes.
And responding to that in the best way that they know how. And by a similar token, also Bob Rafelson doing that. Also Jack Nicholson doing that. Jack Nicholson who has a tiny blink and you'll miss it one-shot cameo.
It's very funny.
It's very funny, and he's wearing an incredible shirt when it happens.
Bob Rafelson's fit in this movie is incredible.
It's a great fit. So I actually I'm not coming to this as a Monkees fan. I'm coming to this as just a fan of art.
Yes.
And artists and personal expression within the confines of the corporate machinery that you need to engage with in order to make art. And I cannot help but respect these 6 filmmakers just taking all the money that was thrown to them and essentially wiping their asses with it.
Yeah.
Just absolutely, it would have been so easy and way more profitable to do the Monkees movie that anybody would have expected.
Yes.
And they refused to do that from shot 1.
Yeah.
And that is what I respect and love about this movie. That is what has stuck with me and why I from a year or 2 ago when I watched this movie for the first time and why I wanted to talk about it here. And I think it's kind of an interesting follow-up to our Spice World episode from however long ago that was of I like this kind of, if we have our little mini series on this show and we have our video classics section where we talk about, just the videos that we watched as a kid and not most of them not being expressly good. I kind of like this musician biopic, this thing that doesn't really exist anymore of a popular musical act is going to make a fiction film where the musical act is playing themselves.
Yeah.
And that essentially just got eaten up and turned into concert movies, that's what we're making. We're making the Eras Tour movie, we're making Beyonce Renaissance, and all those things have
Taylor
artistic
Swift
merit.
Cinemas.
The
Eras Tour, right? And those are all fine. They have artistic merit unto themselves. But this defunct idea that I love, that I would love to see returned of the layers of extraction of these autobiographical films that are not autobiographical in any way, really, just like I find these as fascinating works that I think we need to find someone who's willing to do again. I think we need to get fucking the Melons to make Head too.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's all I could hope for.
Don't, Kevin, do not tempt me with a good time.
If they want to do it, like, tomorrow we can start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I'll quit my job. Like, we'll make Head 2 with the Melons,
Yes, please.
I'll live in your guest room for a little while, Vern. It'll be great.
Okay, perfect. I'm right there with you with, like, Spice World being, like, a weird, like, sort of, like, a complimentary thing to Spice World being made several decades after.
Spice World at least shows that the artists at least act like they have agency. like the primary conflict of Spice World is that Spice Girls have girl power, which the male-dominated world does not understand or respect until they finally come to see the light in the end. Sort of.
They are both movies about artists just trying to, like, get respect.
Right. But at least the Spice Girls have the self-assurance that they are in the right, and they don't care that the rest of the world is kind of wrong. Mm-hmm. The Monkees are rattling the bars of their cage and screeching in frustration. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And there's no... What I respect about the movie is it doesn't really seem to offer any catharsis of freedom.
No, because there isn't. The freedom is throwing yourself off a bridge. Like, that's the freedom. Like, that's the...
It's just self-destruction. It's just... Yes. The only way out is through.
Yeah, the fucking freedom of Southland Tales is blowing up the blimp, Like, fuck.
I think, like...
Pimps don't commit suicide.
You're right, and, like, there's no, like, real solution. But I do think it is...
The bad guy wins! Big Victor wins with the four of them in a box!
Big Victor, who allegedly is named after RCA-Victor Records, who owned the Monkees at that time, who, like, keeps them in the box, and the box is always, like, a TV... that's cutting back and forth between footage of the Monkees and footage of Vietnam,
and like public domain,
and public perception,
uncanny videos.
Yes, in public perception. But I think there's no solutions, but it is a nice, like, for lack of a better word, like, meditation on, like, what happens. How different ways we deal with, like, being boxed in, different ways we, sometimes you lean into it, sometimes you walk off through in frustration, sometimes you're just, like, tired by it's I think it's
sometimes you realize the box is just in your head.
Sometimes the boxing is just in your head. I think, like, there's something about, like, Davy Jones sings that Harry Nilsson song, that, like, very sad, depressing song, but does, like, a big, like, choreographed Broadway dance to it.
And with and it's beautifully shot so that it is constantly alternating between him in a, like, black shirt, like black jacket, white tie, white background, and black background, white jacket, black shirt, like, constantly flickering back and forth. It's stuff beautiful.
That when I was watching it, I was like, Kevin chose this? How did this footage not kill Kevin?
Fair enough. Got me dead to rights. In the
it's something where,
epileptic,
like,
cells are seething.
It's something because I love the editing in this movie, and it's something that I think about whenever I'm editing something. I'm like, ooh, would this kill Kevin if I did this? I don't want to do that.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that's always just a little thought in your mind.
That's always
peace and love, my friend. I've never seen you edit at anywhere near a pace that would have an effect on my epilepsy. You're not a rapid cut Johnny.
I do think about it, but just
so
you know. But I think it's an interesting just like meditation on that, on just like how we deal with being boxed in. And I also think it's a nice meditation on the second thing I was thinking about a lot. For just a little bit of backstory, and this is a true story, and I can't believe it's a true story. I was, in the year 2023, I was doing, I had a gig as a background costumer on some big religious thing. And I'm going around between takes and checking on people and their costumes and seeing how they're doing and how their costumes look. And one of the background talent on this thing I was working on was reading Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness.
Yes.
And I stopped dead in my tracks because I'm like, well, that's a fucking vibe. And for whatever reason, like, I just kept, as the year went on after that, I kept getting reminded of Apocalypse Now. And so on New Year's Day, I did the sane thing and watched Apocalypse Now. A horrible nightmare. But I was watching that. And I thought of something, and this is something I thought I would finally say whenever we talked about Platoon at the end of Getting Stoned. But here we are. Here I am talking about it with the Monkees head. There are so many Vietnam War movies, and not saying that World War II movies are non-existent. Not saying that like World War I movies are non-existent, but there's just several Vietnam War movies that are put together differently and done differently than your World War II fare, than your other things.
Bit of a different lens on Vietnam than there was on
kind of different goals and a different reaction.
Different public perception, I think, of those wars.
A different place at a different time.
And there's an exercise that happens with victims of trauma, namely soldiers, where they go through and write about or talk about the incident that caused them trauma in like very, very, very vivid detail. If you can remember like everything, just spill out everything. And it's something, and I'm not like a counselor, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a smart person, but I guess the idea behind this exercise is to give the victim of trauma some sense of like control, some sort of like sense of control over like the horrible thing that happened to them. And some of me wonders if just how many Vietnam War movies there are, and how many of them just kind of tackle the same subject matter, is people like veterans watching them in like the movie. I don't want to say the movie's doing the work for them, but like it helps people just like kind of relive this horrible nightmare that was the Vietnam War with a sense of control. And it's just it's a thing where I totally understand repeating trauma over and over to relive it and to work from it and to heal from it in something like Apocalypse Now or Born on the 4th of July or Platoon or whatever. Wasn't expecting it in the Monkees' head, but also I also wasn't expecting to see the same footage of the same execution 3 times over in my Monkees' head movie. And so that was
should have been more times. Shove it in there a couple of more times.
Yeah.
It was just like in the parody version of the Monkees theme song that exists in this movie is punctuated by that execution footage. There's like, I can't remember, like 20 different little TV screens that fill up the frame that show you the movie that you're going to see. And the very last one is that footage. And it's just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just something I was thinking about while watching this movie. To carry on something that Kevin mentioned in a previous episode of this about like audiences using movies for like cinema, or like using movies as like sanctuary, using movies as like a preacher. I can't remember what that article that you referenced, that like there are no like movies
Oh,
used to be.
There are no like cultural institutions anymore to like actually tell us the proper way to behave. So we turn to art to tell us how to behave. The problem is that art has no institutional value.
Yes. Right. Art is actually not particularly good as like a preaching model for life. It actually like doesn't work particularly well in that way. At least doing it directly.
That's why Aesop's fables have been around for centuries and no one learns them ever.
Right. You learn as a kid about sour grapes, but it never stops you from sour graping for the rest of your fucking life. Like it's all there. And again, right, because not maybe we should have never put any trust in any of these institutions. I'm not arguing for that, but like you used to think of your church and your government and your school as like pillars for teaching you how to live. Hell, your fucking parents used to think of like, I'm supposed to take lessons from these people. They're supposed to teach me how to live a life and what it is to be a responsible human in this fucking society. And at some point along the way, we figured out that they're not good at doing that. They're not models to follow. Or like, you're not supposed to replicate your parents. You're not supposed to do what the fucking church or the government tells you to do. And so like, what do we have left? Head, I guess. Like, what do we have left? The dandruff commercial. That's supposed to tell me how to live. Yep. Like, humans are looking for someone to tell them what to do. It's why cults are very popular.
Well, like, you don't want to listen to people, Kevin. Have you seen people? They're fucking crazy. They're tell you like a million different things, and only like 10% of them make sense. And those 10%,
people. I wouldn't listen to me.
Half of them are contradictory.
Right. And yeah, so like, I don't know, you're teaching, like, you're trying to use, or the one that, looking to movies for like resonance, all those things, of course, those are great, fulfilling, enriching activities. But when you expect movies to be a lesson of morality and not something you are supposed to bring your own morality to as a filter, is where things get gummed up. Like, that's what, like, it seems like a lot of people out there these days are trying to bring back the Hays Code and are trying to be like, good guys always win, bad guys always lose, sex is bad. Like, it seems like a lot of people are trying to bring those things back into our cinemaplexes, onto the television. And I think it's because there are a lot of lost souls. Yes. And I think the Monkees were lost souls when they made this movie. The Monkees had something that is often referred to as the golden handcuffs. Like you are making good money, you have a structured, job, which is only a tiny percent of people in any creative field have any kind of like full-time structure to back you up. But the problem is you're handcuffed in and you can't fucking leave, and you don't really have a say as to what's happening to you. And, so you're just the fucking guy who announces the Tonight Show for 20 years, and you're trapped. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to turn down that money?
I will say, at least, like, compared to, like, any of the, like, half dozen comedians we all like seeing them trapped in the hell that is late-night TV, the Monkees did at least have the peculiar dissonance of having to act like music produced by other nameless people, like studio musicians, whose entire job is to be basically musical ghostwriters who don't have their names on the stuff they do,
right? And
then act like they did it. Although I guess you could put that up with like, actually, late night comedy writers.
Right, of course. Like, Johnny Carson didn't come up with all those jokes, like, Stephen Colbert's not writing all that. He's taking what other people have written for him, and he's trying to give it a personal spin and sell it as his own. And I don't know, that's part of this mixed nature of being art. That's part of the golden handcuff kind of situation.
And I think just, and the Monkees were just in a unique situation, I think, where...
They knew they were a knockoff. They knew they were the Mega Blocks to the Beatles Legos.
Well, and it's like, and if you look at their solo careers, like Michael Nesmith, like the moment he could get away from the Monkees, started doing like country western stuff. You know what I mean? Like
King shit.
None of this flower child nonsense.
No way, baby.
Mickey Dolenz, like he has albums available to listen to on Spotify, but it's him doing like Broadway standards. It's like things like that. Like
Wearing a little
they
hat.
all wanted to explore, but it's just and I allegedly there's a couple of Monkees that did not care for each other too much, but also how much of that is they don't care for each other and how much of it is just like they're frustrated by the situation they're in and they got to take it out on somebody. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, a band doesn't have to be your 4 best friends in the whole world.
It can be a job.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. These are my coworkers,
Yes.
and Lennon and McCartney weren't best friends, but they were like singularly like incredible at producing music.
The
together,
Beatles
more
were
so than any
coworkers
two
more
people.
than friends.
Exactly right. Like they were very, obviously they had a bond, but like that bond gets stretched and it gets turned, and you're working with people all the time, and we are 3 creative collaborators, and like if we were trying to do, our comedy specials year round, like I think there are times where like the 3 of us could get a little contentious, probably.
Yeah.
We're 3 like opinionated people, flawed people. And I think like even your 3 best friends, like tensions are gonna brew, especially if you're frustrated by other things, frustrated by events in your life outside of the art, shit's gonna happen. I don't know.
It's one thing to see your see like good friends multiple times a week. It's another to live with them every day for years.
There's who among us has not ruined friendships by moving in with people, like it's not for everyone. Like sometimes there are limits to what 2 people can accomplish together.
One, I think too, just like there's some artists that with love like are confectioners. There are some people that like will be totally happy with doing the same thing forever and ever for as long as they live. Amen. There are people like total hacks like Mike Love that like that's all they want to do is like we like don't that live by that creed of like don't fuck with the formula.
Yep.
But then there's also artists.
It's called playing in Vegas.
Yeah. But there's also artists that like they'll do something, it will be successful, they know it works, they got whatever they needed out of it, and then they're ready to move on and they want to do something completely different. And some, just the artists like that and the artists like Mike Love don't always get along, And I think that with the Monkees, I don't know if it was all 4 of them, but there was a big portion of them that saw like, okay, this Beatles thing works. Now let's roam about the cabin. But they couldn't because, as Kevin said, the golden handcuffs. And it's just really hard for some people. Like when you're an artist, when you're full of these ideas, when you have all these things to say, but you can't. But you're saying something like similar. You know what I mean? Like when you're. Some folks, like, they're just happy to be doing art for a living, but some folks want to be doing, like, their art for a living. And there's nothing wrong with, like, either or, but just, like, it's just, that's where, like, sometimes, like, tension comes from. And these 4 guys, like, it was a big deal amongst Monkees fans whenever Michael Nesmith, like, stopped wearing the same hat that he always wore. You know what I mean? And like And I'm for Nez, I'm sure it was just like, I'm just taking off my fucking hat. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
I'm tired of
My head's hot.
My head's hot, and I'm sure like it started out as that, and then it became this like resentful, like I'm not gonna wear the fucking hat now. You know what I mean? Like
You only like me for my fucking
Those are the
hat?
kind of people who get upset that when they like go to Disney World every year, the one year they go in and Mickey doesn't give them like Mickey's signature is slightly off. Like, there are some people who like cling to like these kind of media personalities for their consistency,
And
which
they
defies
don't
humanity.
think of them as exactly. They don't think of them as people.
No.
You are the dancing monkey. You are like not a person. You're not a living artistic being. You are something that is made to entertain me at all times in exactly the way that I demand to be entertained.
You're a product.
And it is a fundamentally like dehumanizing experience for all of this and for all concerned. And it fucking sucks. And when you're an artist, it sucks ass.
Yeah.
And like when you're an artist, you're naturally going to grow and change, whether it's because you get bored of the thing that you were doing already, or there's something else that interests you and you need to like be able to have the freedom to go down those paths and pursue those avenues. And when you're the Monkees and you fucking can't, like that's stifling. And there's always going to be people in your dedicated fan base as an artist who like, there are people who want you to do the same thing forever. And there are people who desperately want you to do something else. And all you can do is just follow your own guiding light. And it's like, you have to do what's best for you because someone's always going to be pissed no matter what you do. So just fucking follow your bliss. And if your bliss is, you know, like listen to the last Beatles album and listen to the first.
Yeah.
They're wildly different. Watch season 6 of your favorite television show and then season 1. And you'll be like, this is not the same show.
Yep.
Because like things have to grow and change, or they stagnate, or they grow stale, or they grow old, or they get fucking moldy, and it doesn't work anymore.
At a certain point, Parker and Stone realized they stopped relating to Stan Marsh and started relating to Randy Marsh. And he's now like the
one of the
show's
best
main
decisions
character.
they ever made. Yeah.
That's so true. Like it's just as you all know, I'm a big dork for Twin Peaks. And there was a lot of people that did not care for season 3. I saw people that were saying, like, this show should at least resemble the show I liked. And I get where they're coming from, but also, like, it had been 25 years.
Yeah, if Twin Peaks didn't look like it knew that internet happened, it would not be a believable show.
Exactly. And I don't know. I think it's one of the cool things about being alive is our propensity to learn and grow and change. I am so thankful that I don't have the same values and the same morality and the same ideas that I did when I were in my 20s or in my teens or anything like that. But also, like, the difference between my dog is 6 years old now, and the difference between her now and the difference between her when we first got her is that she takes more naps, and that's it. She still loses her damn mind when she sees another animal. She still loses her mind whenever like anyone opens any kind of food, and like that's fine. Like I still love my dog, but like It's a good thing that people change. It's a good thing that artists change. It's a good thing that we move on. And I don't think people like I don't think there's everyone actively seeks out like, all right, I'm ready to change and move on to the next thing. But I don't think I think there's some people that don't realize like how much they need change and how much they value change until change does occur. If things stay the same for a long time, it can make you lose your mind. And I think the Monkees were just ready to move on and ready to do the new thing. But the powers that be that like just did not want that to happen because they were printing money, you know?
It's very apt, Kevin, that for the inaugural episode of the new year, you picked a movie about artists
About change.
demanding to do something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, when I picked this fucking movie last month, I didn't know that my own fucking life would get turned upside down. I could not have fucking predicted this, but, like, the righteous anger of Head speaks to me now. Even more than it did in December 2023. Like, there's an indignation to what's happening here that I support and am feeling. And I don't know. I've become very fond of and very acquainted with, like, I love watching an artist waste other people's money.
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Weird,
Yes.
esoteric. The weirdest kind of person on the internet, and I do not say this lightly, is like the person who's like, well, I'm mad because Martin Scorsese wasted $200 million of Apple's money. I'm like, why do you care about Apple's money?
Yeah.
Are you Apple? Are you Tim Apple? Are you a stockholder? What do you care how much his movie cost? And how much money it made at the theater. Why do you care? I don't care. I don't know what Head did at the fucking 1968 box office. Why should I care about that? It's not my fucking money.
The only time you should ever talk about another artist's budget is by saying, good job getting away with that much. Because, like, if you're working on a studio level, they will not give you anything. You have to fight and scrape to get anything from these people.
Yes, billions of dollars of my tax money is currently committing genocide in several different places around the world. Why do I care if the Monkees wasted Columbia Pictures fucking bankroll? What do I care?
If Joe Biden was taking money out of my salary towards the Monkees movie, I might have something to say about it, but he's not.
But he's not.
I just remember, like, some internet forum, used to, now it exists on cable as IFC, and IFC doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
But there was a time where IFC was the Independent Film Channel, and it would show, like, independent films, like, commercial free. I remember just, like, having a cable channel that wasn't HBO, that wasn't Showtime, wasn't one of the channels that you had to pay extra for, and, like, seeing Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine completely commercial free on there. And then, like, that station went on to, like, show things like the reruns of the Monkees with commercials. And I just remember some internet forum of people just, like, kind of, like, pining for the way, like, IFC used to be, and how they miss how it used to be and all this thing. And there's, like, this weird dude in the comments being like, they should be able to want to make money. And it's like,
it's actually incredible that, like, Frank Zappa was in Head, because today I saw, like, a clip from a documentary where Frank Zappa was saying that that part of the reason why music sucks now is because in the old days, in the 60s, when we were getting experimental stuff, it wasn't coming from the hip young men. It was coming from old guys with cigars willing to throw away a little bit of money on a gamble they were willing to lose.
Yeah.
And now we have the supposedly hip young people who are willing to only bet everything on gambles they're certain will win.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, now if you're a hot young filmmaker and you make a hit independent film, like, your next step is directing, like, a Jurassic Park or a Marvel movie or whatever. And, like, we've lost Richard Kelly, who was willing to make some fucking bullshit with a lot of other people's money. We've lost the Monkees, who were willing to just, like, bet it all on black, even though they knew it was rigged to hit red. They fucking just throwing it away.
No indie filmmakers don't get to make Hudsucker proxies anymore. Like,
right, if the Coen brothers made Blood Simple, then they would have gone on to make Captain Marvel 2, like
they would have gotten the live action Black Cauldron.
Oh boy.
The Daniels,
Yes.
Daniel Kwan and Daniel Schneider, someone in some interview, they were talking about how like Everything Everywhere All at Once was easier to get made than Swiss Army Man, and not because like they had some clout, but just because Everything Everywhere All at Once was like easier to sell to people willing to put money into it.
Right.
They're like, it's a
multiverse.
It's a verse jumping movie. It's an action adventure movie with multiple universes.
It's an action adventure movie.
And
it's about a family. They grow to understand each other. You know, like it's actually like A Wrinkle in Time. You know, it's like actually, yeah.
It's about as like complex as Back to the Future.
Right. It's
Exactly.
like you can kind of explain that, whereas it's like, well, he finds a farting corpse. But the farting corpse can talk, and the farting corpse kind of teaches him to grow out of his skin, and I don't like,
and teaching him to move on.
Right, teaching him to like have some courage. I don't know, like it's he learns life lessons. They sing Cotton Eye Joe. It's a very difficult movie to surmise, especially if you're walking into like a studio boardroom. Like, give us some money. Daniel Radcliffe signing on is the only reason they got any fucking money for that movie at all.
Yes. And like, and obviously like the Daniels are never going to ever have problems ever making a movie ever again. It's because, they had a hard time with their farting boner corpse movie. And as you said, like the only reason that got made is because Daniel Radcliffe signed on it. And like, there was someone with some money somewhere that was like, well, I know at least people will want to see Harry Potter again.
People are still licking that bag.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's keeping half of Broadway floating anymore is people
Yes,
going
is
in to
fucking
see
Daniel
what Daniel
Radcliffe.
Radcliffe's doing.
Yeah, it's because he's in like Merrily We Roll Along. Yeah.
To see things like Spam-A-Lot, to see things like where there's a name value on it, and like I don't know, it's just like it's good to be surprised. It's good to see new things. It's good to like, it's always the bold swings, but no one's as time rolls on, despite there being more and more proof that bold swings do pay off, people are still more and more reluctant to take them. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's fear, it's cowardice. It could also sometimes be like, well, they have trouble getting something made that isn't very similar to the thing that they previously made. Like there's this weird thing where we do want something different, but also people are afraid of things that are different. They want the same thing over and over again. And it's a very strange, hard to commodify, hard to dodge around sort of dichotomy of the
They
human
want
animal.
more blankets and less blankets at the same time.
Yes, he needs more blankets and he needs less blankets.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a perfect metaphor.
But I don't know. I as I said, like beyond like hearing like their top 40 stuff on Ollie's radio, with only like seeing like clips of their show, with only like my limited knowledge of the Monkees, I thought Head was fucking great. I really enjoyed it.
I'm very glad to hear that. I thought you might.
My experience with the Monkees prior to this movie was was entirely an episode of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Good.
Where one of the ants gets a case of punitis.
Oh,
and
boy.
She says, boy, I need this like a monkey on my back. And Davy Jones appears.
Oh, it's always fucking Davy Jones. It's always Davy Jones.
Yeah, the most like...
he was the cute one.
No, he's the one who's most willing to like cut the ribbon at the mall.
He'll be in the Brady Bunch movie.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. He'll open your used car lot. Yeah, exactly.
He'll be in the Brady Bunch movie and in the original Brady Bunch.
He's the only man who
guest
walked
star
in
on
both
that.
worlds.
Fire, walk with him.
Fire Walk with Davy.
He is the Daywalker.
Yeah.
And I also gotta say, while we're here, I gotta say, like, folks, like, this is my endorsement of the Monkees Head, but also I gotta say, if it's something, if you watch Monkees Head and you're interested in it, and you're interested in just more weird art from these guys, I gotta recommend Elephant Parts. It's a special that Michael Nesmith created. It is both comedy and music. It got turned into a short-lived show called Video Ranch. Michael Nesmith's Video Ranch. And Video Ranch featured like writing from Jack Handy before SNL. It's Michael Nesmith was into weird comedy and his weird music. He claims that he invented the music video with elephant parts. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I know people have tried to credit like Kenneth Anger for creating the music video.
I think there's a lot of people that are fighting for that title, and honestly, like, who cares? If you're interested in weirdo subversive funny art with the Monkees, I gotta recommend Elephant Parts.
I'm downloading Elephant Parts from Internet Archive at this very second.
Features truly like one of my favorite songs, just like ever.
Wow.
And it was something I did not know about until I had seen it. If you see an Elephant Parts, if you see an Elephant Parts and then go watch an episode of the Monkees, maybe something like Ahead makes more sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
We were like, oh, okay, like I can tell that like there was something else he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I can tell. I could see maybe why the Monkees was not scratching this guy's itch that he had. It's funny stuff.
I love that. Wow. I'm on Michael Nesmith's like Spotify, and I would not recognize this man. I would not know this man as the same man.
He the instant the Monkees broke up, like he started putting on nudie suits and doing
he grew
country
a beard.
western music.
Wow.
Grew a beard, just like he was desperate to break out of there. And I don't know,
God bless him.
It's as I said, it's good for people to change and grow and move
absolutely.
on.
Whereas, God love him, Mickey Dolenz has been wearing this one hat for 40 years.
Okay, but that's because he's a show tune guy, and that's very hard to grow out of.
Oh, Mickey Dolenz Puts You to Sleep, the 1991 album.
He's a theater kid.
Where
all songs.
Mickey was a theater guy. Mickey Dolenz was a theater kid. And that's
blame him.
That's a terminal condition. You die with
it. Really is.
Terminal.
As a fucking ex-theater kid, listen, you just don't grow out. You never fully leave that life behind. Yeah. It's who you are. And that's
the only way to escape it is jumping off the bridge.
We're not advocating for any of our listeners to jump off the bridge. I'm not gonna.
No. We have to understand. What you have to understand is that normal people, they jump off the bridge. Imaginative, creative people, they're jumping to swim with mermaids. It's a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a completely different thing. And I know what I've been sounding like in text messages to my friends recently. I'm not going to jump off the Monkees bridge. I'm not going to swim with the mermaids. I promise.
No. You wouldn't do a bridge. You wouldn't do that.
No.
We know you. It wouldn't be that.
I'm opening the door on the airplane.
I'm just getting in the line exhibit.
Yeah.
I'm just stepping over the rail.
I'm stepping on the third rail, baby. And I just get zapped and you see my skeleton.
Last episode we played Have Yourself a Rich Little Christmas, and now we're going to play the game where we all try to guess how each host of the show would unalive them.
We're not on YouTube, Vern. We can say kill.
I was just trying to step lightly. I was
I'm sorry. That's actual 1984 shit. I have no truck with it.
Yeah, unalive.
Yeah.
I get that you literally have to use it on that app. I get that, but like when I see people like tweet the words unalive, I'm like, it makes me want to unalive myself.
I think it's double minus bad.
That's probably a 1984 joke.
Yeah, it's a 1984 joke.
I've never read it.
Sorry. Justin's going back in his only Justin jokes hole.
Should I crack it open? Should I finally read 1984 just to see what everybody's talking about?
Boy, if it's this many years after high school, I don't know what you'd get out of it.
I never had to read it, and I don't know. I'm like, other people have read it. It's not long.
It's not long. I feel like it has its own problems due to George Orwell's own political proclivities.
Yeah, of course.
But I think it has interesting stuff in it that's worth checking out.
I'm not engaging with it because I'm like, this is what today is, man.
No. I did not read it all the way through. I did start reading it years and years when I was like living in Illinois years ago. And this is probably rich coming from me. When you look at any kind of comedy I've ever done ever. But I put the book down because I thought to myself, like, this is the same thing over and over.
It's one point.
It's just it is just like the same point being made over and over and over again, says the guy who was one half of a 15-minute sketch about where I say I'm gonna kick your ass a whole bunch.
No.
Like I was just like at a certain point I was just like I get it. And I put it
okay,
down.
Kevin, I will sum up the entirety
also,
of 1984 for you. 1984 is about a precocious, educated, middle-class liberal going, don't the lower classes know they're voting against their self-interest? And then he gets thrown in prison for asking why the government is letting the uneducated poor people vote against their self-interest.
Sounds good. I don't know. So I like
George Orwell was the original Neil Breen.
Don't
Those
they
are his
know
faithful
it's
findings,
wrong?
No. I like to engage with some classics. I like to go back to classics that we've all kind of accepted and just like kind of try and take them in as a piece of literature. Every October I read a classic like horror novel that spawned a guy. Right? It was like I read Dracula, I read Frankenstein, I read War of the Worlds. I want to see how these things all began. And sometimes I'm very pleasantly surprised. Love Frankenstein. Love War of the Worlds. Loved Great Gatsby when I read that. I think it's just a legitimately great book that people hate because they read it in school. Yeah. And again, not that long. 1984.
No, it's a quick read. You'll probably get something out of it.
Yeah, whatever. It'll be one of a couple books I read one month.
Yeah,
you know
there
what
you
I mean?
go.
Who cares? I'll read it after whatever the next Dune book I got over there is.
The CIA did produce an Animal Farm movie, though, which we could talk about at some point.
The animated one?
Yeah.
The CIA?
I didn't know the
Central Intelligence Agency?
I think they ran the production company.
Are you sure it wasn't like Central Interest Animation or something like that?
I was looking.
Creatively
I was also looking.
inspired
I'm like,
artists.
I was like, okay, A can stand for animation. What is it?
This is why we're collaborators, right? You know, it's just like there's a reason the three of us are still together after all these years of marriage.
Yep.
Despite how much we've all changed.
Yeah. But the more we change,
the more we stay the same.
All right.
I watched that for the first time last year. It's good. You ever see it? Days of Confused?
It's great.
Yeah, it's great. I don't know.
Yeah.
Check it out. Anyway, anything else to say about Head? I'm very glad that we took this journey. Vern, I'm glad you loved it. Justin, I'm glad you at least got to engage with it.
Here's the thing. It's a movie for me that I think I liked the sum of its parts more than the whole.
I understand that completely. I think it's maybe like what Andy Warhol always said about his movies. It was like, it's kind of best to like discuss them more than sometimes it is to actually watch it as a piece of art. But also, I love Head. The second time I watched this, I'm like, I love this. This is a 5-star picture.
I genuinely mean it in that it's a perfect party movie. Like, get a bunch of people, all getting yourself into a mindset. However you need to get there, and then just put it on, and then just have a good time.
I get that. I understand that. I think you're not far off. I also, when one of those times I was staying with you, I walked in and you were watching Barbarella with some folks, and I'm like, yeah, kind of a party movie. It's kind of like a slow moving 1960s sci-fi movie. I get like chatting over it. But I eat that shit up with a spoon.
Yeah, no, after a while, the zero gravity strip tease it's a little tiresome.
I disagree.
Oh, well,
Barbarella, psychedella. We will do that.
I do want to say,
Kevin, that is a movie not for babies.
I don't know.
Not for
I
babies.
don't agree.
I do, Kevin. I do want to thank you for picking Head. The Head is a movie that like I've truly like wanted to see for over half my life.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, and this is something that I feel like us three and a lot of folks like around our age are kind of like this weird like mid-shift young people where we came in like we all remember a time like before the internet. We were, you know, we have that kind of thing. And Head was always something that I was interested in. But it was not something, you know, until the internet, it was not as readily available.
They didn't have it at your local video store.
They didn't have it at my local video store.
A hard movie to find in a legit capacity. It was streaming on Tubi for a while, but it's not there anymore. There's a copy on YouTube that I have downloaded to my hard drive, of course. But like, and you can also buy it from the Criterion Collection, but only in the Bob Rafelson 5-film box set, which I am less interested in. Just sell me the Head disc. I'll buy it. Just sell it to me.
And we probably remember this, and there's probably like children that would hear this and be like, "What, really?" But like, do you remember like ordering things through mail catalog? Like a catalog comes in and you write in like the item number and you send in a check and like, but for the longest time Head only existed to me as like black and white text, a black and white like text description of the plot, and like a mail through catalog where to get the movie on DVD it's like $45. And like and critics are I don't want this is not me like being like Kevin Smith and saying like all critics are dodgeball victims, but what I am saying is that like when there's some truly subversive different art that gets released, sometimes people don't know how to react to it. And I think there's a lot of critics that just like wait for the other one to say something first. So they're like, it's so weird. And for the longest time, that was just like a hard sell. Just like $45 on a thing that like critically has been said is garbage. And then like, so I'm so thankful for like the internet, where something like this is more readily available.
Absolutely.
So that I can experience this like thing that I've been looking for 15, for 15 years or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And it's just like on YouTube. It's not an excellent like quality, but it's perfectly watchable quality in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I thought like the cinematography in this thing is gorgeous, and I loved the editing and like
sets.
The sets. That Davy Jones sequence that you were talking about, where it's cross-cutting back and forth between the black and the white and all that stuff, and I don't know, it's like I think it takes a small brain to look at Head and be like, and to hyperfixate on like, well, it doesn't make sense, so I don't like it.
What do you mean all four monkeys get to kiss the same girl in the same room?
And so I don't know, I'm thankful for internet making things more readily available, because I finally got to see this thing I've been wanting to see for a long time, and it was worth the wait.
Absolutely. I think it's great, and I have wanted to talk about it in some capacity for a long time. Where else but movies for babies? Fits into one of our weird sort of subcategories that we like to go back to now and again. I'm very happy, and I'm glad to have shared this with the both of you. And
Thank you.
I love an excuse to watch or rewatch a movie. So what the fuck else,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. But it's not my turn for February. My pick is done. You won't get a pick from me until April, maybe May, if we don't double up in April. But I think the next pick belongs to Vern Tooley?
That is me, yeah. I get the next one. And I'm here to tell you all. I think I made my selection, but there's a lot of asterisks on it, and it was hard. It was very difficult for me to pick. If you recall, the last time I had to pick, I was like, well, it was between these two movies. And the one I ended up picking was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Yes. But the other one, I was like, maybe we'll do this one later. And I'm not picking the second one I had because I once sat in awkward silence while I heard you guys talk about how stupid it would be for someone to pick Back to the Future, and I go, yeah, so stupid. I would want to do
it if you want.
No, it's all good. It's all good. We were exploring movies from our childhood, and I'm like, I love that.
It's great. It's a 5-star.
And then you guys are like, who would ever want to talk about Back to the Future? A fucking idiot.
That's not what we said. That's not what we fucking said.
No, I know.
Marty's just a little maybe overexposed, but I would talk about it gladly, joyously if you picked it.
But I'm not picking Back to the Future. That ship has sailed. It's went to Hill Valley in 1955, and we can't get it back. It missed the thunderstorm.
Very good.
And also, I want to put it out there, folks, that with it being February, and February being like Black History Month, I did want to find something. But we're exploring movies that like we kind of grew up with, and me being a dumb hick from Southern Illinois, unfortunately, I did not have, a lot of art made by, I wasn't exposed to a lot of art made by African Americans, and so I wish I got a month. I wish I didn't have this month because I would love to represent in a way that I can't, and I just I don't know, Sorry to Bother You or The Last Black Man in San Francisco, I don't think fits movies for babies criteria.
I don't think so.
So with all that being said, I found myself at another crossroads, trying to pick between two movies, two first movies from a group of weirdos making the jump from the TV screen to the silver screen to middling results. I was trying to pick one of two, and I think I finally landed on it. My pick, another movie about a group of weirdos making the jump to the big screen. Folks, my pick, Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, hey.
Oh, wow. Let's go.
We're all a bunch of comedy dorks.
Wow.
And I would love to hear what us three have to say about this movie.
Holy Grail. That's a movie I've watched 1 million times in my life. None of those in the last 18 years. You know what I mean?
Same.
I stopped watching it because I saw it so many times it stopped being funny, and I just I just know it.
Exactly. I realized as I kept watching it that I realized as I was watching it the last time I watched it that I was like, I'm just saying the movie to the movie. I'm not actually watching it.
Yeah.
And so I think I would like, with our big movie brains that we've accumulated since we've last seen this thing, to take a look at Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Boy, this is a real This is a real case where I actually have the DVD, and I will have to blow dust off of it to it.
Yeah, before I don't want to fuck up my my DVD player by putting a dusty disc in there. Hell, yeah, man!
So
talk about taking an excuse to revisit something. Holy shit!
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And maybe we'll get the other one at some. Maybe we'll get my other choice later on down the road. But also, I'll probably be in a different headspace. No pun intended. And also, knowing me, you can probably read between the lines and guess what the other movie was. Whenever I talk about a group of weirdos jumping from TV in the 1960s to movie in the 1970s. But for now, we're just gonna grab our coconuts and clop around with Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Hot damn.
It's only a model.
Hey, remember that? Oh, so many classic lines.
And we could probably, I'm sure, it might be like a bonus episode. I'm sure we could just do the movie, us three.
We try to recite the movie from memory.
Verbatim.
I imagine if you took a transcript of us doing the movie and laid it next to the movie, like we would get like a B.
Right. It's like I don't know, like a Mario Party game or something where they draw a line and then they take the line away and they're like, now do the line that we just drew. I could get like 80% of the line.
That is perfect. Yes, that is exactly
what
that would be. Yeah, you summed it up perfectly.
Well, that'll be fucking, I don't know, that'll be fun. I'm
excited
forward to this. That'll be, what a good time. What a good time in February. Wonderful. Well, I'm TV's Kevin Lanigan everywhere. Run the Julias is the other show, but this is this show, and Julia Roberts has yet to appear in any of these films, I don't think. But that's me. I don't know anything from the boys.
Be nice to each other in the year 2024 and beyond.
And all the acquaintance been forgot, and days of old lang syne.
Woo! Or my favorite is the Tales from the Crypt Christmas album, where the Crypt Keeper sings, "Should old cadavers tend to rot?" That's my favorite.
That's pretty good. I think if you must, do the Crypt Keeper parody album. Yeah, I think you did a pretty good job in that part.